Hi, my name is Laura and this is New York Embroidery Studio. Behind me here is a wall of all our machines that we use on a daily basis. They get swapped out in the factory and every day. Unfortunately, we don't have room to have them all displayed in the factory, but each machine does a different type of stitch. Every machine has a specific attachment. Behind me here is a range of samples that we've made in the factory. It's a display of our library and all our techniques that we can do here in the studio. They're extra samples that we've made, and they show the customers different techniques, and they also give a good example of starting points for design. Welcome to our studio. Behind me here you can see a range of sequin materials. These sequin materials can be custom laser cut and can also be printed by our UV printer. So designers have a way of actually custom making all of their embellishments. Down below is all of the different stones and settings that you can use, rhinestones. Over to the left here we have all different types of studs, eyelets, snaps, punch-on pearls, and punch-on rhinestones. These here are our laser cutting machines. For an example, here's one where we're actually perforating a pattern. This is cut on plastic and allows us maximum and optimum for the operator to use. They have a guide to follow. It's digitally made, so it's perfect, and all of our patterns are made this way. In this machine here you can see laser cut tassels. They're just little circles, but the fabric is seared by the laser and allows for a perfect circle that can be used for a bikini, and it's actually being used on the back of a swimsuit. Our fabric printer here is a direct-to-garment printer. It's a small bed space, but it's excellent for sampling. It's a DTG and it's perfect for cotton fabrics. And to the left here is a Rhinestone Machine. It's a digital automated stone machine that lays all the crystals in very specific spots, and it can just be heat applied directly onto the fabric. Here we have a vinyl printer. The vinyl printer allows different colors of vinyl to be printed and then heat applied onto the fabric. It gives a different use to the plotter, which only plots out one color at one time, which is just right here. In behind here is the Cnc machine. The Cnc machine allows us to make incredible molds for resin, for doming, for very specific clasps, belt buckles, buttons. This machine has offered something very spectacular that isn't possible on the laser machine. It can also engrave metal, which is an incredible feature. And here behind me I have the 3D printer. We also use this mostly for casting. Casting for specific embellishments again, like buttons and specific clasps, belt buckle clasps, and you can see that running there behind me. This is our UV printer. Our UV printer prints on virtually any material, so it can print on leather, metal, plastic, any types of fabrics, and it's cured by a UV light. The UV print is like a textured print that sits on the surface of the material and allows for texture. And then behind me here is our embroidery section. It's very extensive and we have a lot of very exciting machines. And the development that's made here is huge. In comparison to our production, we almost have an even amount. And this machine here is a laser attachment. The laser comes up here and allows us to do extremely intricate applique work. The applique work is laser cut and then embroidered to give a beautiful finished edge on the embroidery. This machine here has a sequin attachment that does automated stitch down sequins, and it's beautiful for very, very articulated embroidery and embellishment. This here is our spaghetti. I'm going to later show you how the machines are cut, or how the fabric is cut, but this is the machine stitching the bias. It's stitching the bias and it's making it into a spaghetti. It's a finished trim. Great. This machine here is a special gauge that allows the folded bias to be folded and rolled into a very specific trim. It's beautiful for finished edges and it's used in finishing garments. Thank you. This machine here is cutting the salvage off the fabric. After this happens, it gets rolled on this machine. It's just come off this machine and it's going to be put onto the cutting machine. Can you put it on for me, Bruce? This machine here is a snap. This is actually being punched on as a snap. This machine has a vacuum in the top and it's flat in the bottom, and there's a top and a bottom piece, and once it's kicked closed. and it allows the piece to be closed. Okay, over this side. Here you'll see the application of rhinestones. On the bottom is a setting. On the top is a rhinestone. The vacuum sucks the rhinestone into the top of the gauge. The setting is put in the bottom, and then she kicks the stone closed. On this side, we have Irish Singer and Bonnes machines. All these machines do cording, soutache, stand-up soutache, sequins, wrap stitch, drop stitch, and chenille embroidery. Here you can see all the sequins being stitched down. They come from the top of the machine here. They come through, and then they're being wrapped by a thread on the bottom. On this side is cording. It's the same concept where the cord is in the top. It comes through the gauge here, and then it's being stitched. The machine is actually operated by a wheel. So it's a hand wheel on this side that you can see. On the bottom, you'll see that hand wheel that's he's going to turn to operate. This guides him in which direction the machine will run. On this side of the factory is all of our novelty stitching machines. Here we have overlocking, we have multi-tocking, behind me here we have wire hem. The wire hem is fed into the Mero machine and gets stitched through the wire to give a fold to the fabric. You'll see the tassels that were previously being laser cut are now being stitched together into the little tassel shapes, and then they'll be applied onto the string for the garment. Through here, you'll see our machines like our multi-elastic machines that have multi-elastic. This is a waistband currently for production. And this technique here is smocking. Smocking is a little different to elastic shirring. It still has the elastic coming from this side, but it has a thread that runs through a cam that gives it a specific design. Some of the samples that you can see here are the different designs that run through the cam that guides the machine. So the machine is guided by the cam, and then these automatically know which shape to go, and you'll see the diamond shape through the fabric. And then above, you can see all of our different types of elastic. We have so many beads and sequins. We have shelves and shelves of threads and cording, bonnes to cording, soutache cording. All of our threads throughout the shelves, our selection of vinyl on the shelf over here. And then we have all of another multitude of sequins and beads and every different type of bead you can imagine. And then just finishing with some of our sample patches that we've also made here. Very specific techniques, bullion, embroidery, beading, and they're also made all right here in our factory. Thank you for touring New York Embroidery Studio.